The frightening case of Eliza Fletcher.
From the skies and on foot, police scouring this Memphis neighborhood Sunday, searching for a mother now missing.
Uncle of Eliza Fletcher. On behalf of Liza's family, her husband Richie, her children, her mom Adele, her father Beasley, her brother Gil, and all the members of her family, we want to make a brief statement.
Eliza Fletcher was a 34-year-old kindergarten teacher and a devoted mother of 2 young boys. She was married to Richard Fletcher. The couple exchanged vows in the very same church they met. Eliza came from a prominent and affluent family. Her relatives were the heirs of Orgill Inc., a well-established hardware supply company. However, despite the privilege and the opportunities that came with her family's legacy, Eliza had no interest in working in the corporate world. Her passion had always been teaching. She began her career at Promise Academy in Nashville, where she taught kindergarten and also took time to coach young children in sports. Her dedication to her students was apparent, and she eventually moved to St. Mary's Episcopal School in Memphis. Known as one of the top all-girls schools in Tennessee, St. Mary's provided an environment where Eliza's nurturing personality and deep commitment to education could flourish. Her warmth and positive energy were clearly felt by her students and colleagues alike. On the morning of September 2nd, 2022, Eliza went to her usual early morning run near the University of Memphis campus. Running was not just a hobby for her. It was a major part of her life. A dedicated marathon runner, Eliza had recently finished 22nd among women in St. Jude's Marathon, a performance that qualified her for the elite Boston Marathon. She typically ran 8 miles every day, following the same route and starting around 4 a.m. That day, however, would take a tragic turn. At approximately 6:45 a.m., a cyclist found a discarded bottled water, a mobile phone, and a pair of Champion brand sandals lying on the roadside. Unaware of the gravity of the situation, the cyclist attempted to find the owner. But soon, the police would confirm that the items belonged to Eliza, whose husband Richard had reported her missing after she failed to return home from her run. Authorities moved swiftly. Surveillance footage was retrieved, showing Eliza running her usual route, wearing a pink athletic top and purple-blue Lululemon shorts. As investigators followed her movement through the camera footage, they observed something deeply unsettling. A dark-colored GMC Terrain SUV had been circling the area for about 30 minutes before it abruptly stopped near her. A man was then seen exiting the vehicle and forcibly abducting Eliza. He dragged her into the SUV before it remained stationary for roughly 4 minutes, then sped away. The footage quality was poor due to low light, making it difficult to identify the suspect. But one key detail stood out. The SUV had a damaged headlight. The suspect's sandals, left behind during the struggle, were sent for forensic analysis. Authorities also managed to retrieve a partial license plate from the surveillance footage, and from there, things progressed quickly. Less than 48 hours later, police located a dark GMC Terrain with a damaged headlight in a parking lot. DNA testing on the sandals came back with a match. 38-year-old Cleotha Abston, also known by the surname Henderson. Abston had a long and troubling criminal history dating back to his childhood. By the age of 11, he was already in the system. His most serious conviction came in 2000 when he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for kidnapping. The victim in that case, prominent Memphis attorney Kemper Durand, had been abducted at gunpoint and shoved into the trunk of a car. Durand managed to escape and survived the ordeal, later stating he believed he would have been killed if he hadn't gotten away. During his time in prison, Cleotha was involved in nearly 20 separate incidents of indecent exposure. He was released just a few years prior to Eliza's abduction. When authorities apprehended him in the connection with Eliza's disappearance, Cleotha refused to cooperate. Police launched a citywide search effort that included help from the FBI and local volunteer groups. They scoured surveillance footage, tracked cell phone data, and conducted ground and aerial searches. On September 5th, 2022, 4 days after Eliza went missing, officers discovered human remains behind an abandoned duplex on Victor Street, about 7 miles from where she had been abducted. The remains were quickly identified as Eliza Fletcher. A medical examination revealed she had sustained blunt force trauma to her head, including a gunshot wound, jaw fractures, and injuries to her leg. Her running shorts were found nearby, discarded in a garbage bag. Although her toxicology report indicated the presence of fentanyl, authorities made no suggestion that she had used the drug voluntarily. It was strongly believed she had been sexually assaulted during the time she was held captive. Additional surveillance footage and cell phone data placed Cleotha's mobile device at both the site of her abduction and the location where her body was found. Neighbors had also seen him cleaning the inside of the vehicle with household floor cleaner and washing his clothes in a sink shortly after the incident. These actions raised significant suspicions, leading police to expand their investigation. The case generated massive public interest and concern, not just in Memphis, but across the country. The community organized an event called Let's Finish Liza's Run, retracing the same 8.2-mile route she had intended to run the morning she disappeared. Hundreds of people came together to honor her memory and advocate for safer conditions for runners, particularly women. As evidence against Cleotha mounted, additional charges were filed. In addition to the charges related to Eliza's kidnapping and murder, Cleotha was also charged in a separate case for the 2021 aggravated rape and kidnapping of a young woman named Eliza Franklin. At the time of Eliza's assault, her rape kit was collected but not tested in a timely manner. The DNA results that would have connected Cleotha to that crime were only entered into the national database on September 5th, ironically, the same day Eliza's body was discovered. Eliza later filed a lawsuit against the Memphis Police Department, accusing them of gross negligence. She alleged that if her case had been handled properly and Cleotha had been arrested when her rape kit was collected, Eliza would still be alive. Her lawyer emphasized that the system had failed both Eliza and Eliza, stating that known evidence had been ignored. In October 2023, Cleotha Abston was found guilty in the Eliza Franklin case. He was convicted on charges of aggravated kidnapping and unlawful possession of a firearm. He was sentenced to 80 years in prison for that crime alone. In a surprising turn of events later that year, Cleotha changed his plea in Eliza Fletcher's case to guilty. His defense attorney stated there was no realistic path to a successful trial given the overwhelming volume of evidence against him. At the end of 2024, Cleotha Abston was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the kidnapping and murder of Eliza Fletcher. The loss of Eliza deeply impacted not just her family and friends, but an entire community that admired her for her dedication, compassion, and spirit. Her tragic death served as a painful reminder of the dangers women can face, even in the most routine aspects of daily life. Yet, her legacy lives on in the hearts of those she taught, coached, and inspired. Thanks for watching. If you would like a deep dive, please like the video, press the subscribe button, and also drop your thoughts in the comment section.